Good afternoon, everyone. This is Alan Whitford from RCEURO.com, bringing you one of our thought leader conversations. Today we have Dave Beaver, Director of Alliances and Business Development at Bullhorn, coming to you from Boston. Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Fantastic, Alan. Thanks for having me today.
Glad to have you on the show. Dave, why don't you just give us a quick intro into who Dave Beaver is and what does Bullhorn actually do?
Sure. I came to Bullhorn about 2 years ago as the Director of Alliances after spending over a decade in the software as a service space. Those of you who don't know Bullhorn, we provide a platform for the third-party staffing and recruiting space. We have 2,000 customers and global reach.
All right, so for our viewers here, that third-party staffing, or we just like to call them recruitment agencies or recruitment consultants, and there's only about 20,000 of them here in the UK. So obviously, it's a fairly open marketplace for you guys.
Absolutely. So we opened up an office in the UK to cover the EMEA market about 2 years ago, and we've been making considerable strides in that particular geography. We also pushed out in APAC as well, opened up an office in Australia.
All right. So what's interesting, I know Pete Linus, I know him pretty well, who's running the UK operation. He always seems to be completely on the go because there's so much going on, which is fantastic. But how do you work with alliances if you've got a direct operation like you've got here in the UK and covering Europe? Are these alliances sales channels, or are they other product companies that might fit in with what Bullhorn does?
Really great question. So one of the biggest components of my charter is the Bullhorn Marketplace. So I go out and scour the world for third-party independent software providers that will use the Bullhorn API to plug into Bullhorn as a platform to add additional functionality, workflow, and efficiency.
Okay, and as for those of our viewers who may not be too technical, an API essentially is it means that the two products can communicate with each other without having to write a whole bunch of extra code and bring in the feared IT department then.
Correct. My job is to actually manage all the technical components and the relationships so our customers don't have to. The marketplace is a vehicle where our customers can go find the best of breed solutions in the staffing and recruiting space. Those solutions plug right into Bullhorn very seamlessly, so you don't have to be a technical whiz kid to get the integration up and running. It's actually fairly seamless. And then from a workflow perspective, the end user is really unaware that there are two different applications kind of working independently. They're really seamless in the user interface.
So this sounds like what I might have used to call in some of my presentations the one-stop shop, where I can actually come and get everything I might need from one spot. So am I buying products on the marketplace directly through Bullhorn, or is it just more a means of me understanding what those products are, and then I pick the one I want to do, for example, eQuest or Broadbean for multi-posting, and then I go, deliver my business to them?
Sure. So the marketplace is absolutely an avenue for the best of breed solution. So we usually have two or three different choices. You referenced Broadbean and eQuest for posting and distribution. Our goal is to connect our customer with the subject matter expert at those organizations. They know everything there is to know about posting and distribution. And our customers then would purchase directly from that partner. But the integration would happen seamlessly within Bullhorn.
Fantastic. And as the recruiter, I can actually use one desktop rather than having to have 5 or 6 different windows open for all these different things then.
Yeah, absolutely. One desktop, one browser, one interface that is Bullhorn. We like to say here you get up in the morning and you turn on Bullhorn. You're in it throughout the day, and then at 7 o'clock at night you turn it off. So you're actually living in the application. The more functionality that we can present to the user, the better in that UI. So, for example, running a background check historically, that would require you to copy and paste candidate information into a separate application, execute the background check, and then pull information manually back into Bullhorn. With some of the marketplace solutions we have today, that can be run directly from the candidate record.
Oh, that's really fantastic. And that means that the recruiter actually stays in control end to end instead of handing it off to somebody else to go off and do that stuff and then kind of let it slide off of his or her his or her radar, I guess.
Absolutely, they're masters of their own destiny. It also gives them a lot more positive control in the process based on the fact that there is reporting from these third-party applications in Bullhorn as well, so they know where they are in the cycle of the background check, when they should expect the final report to come in.
Fantastic. So what other types of applications? We mentioned multi-posting or job ad distribution, as it's called in the U.S., background checking, which is something that's getting more play now in the U.K. over the last couple of years than it has. We're catching up to the U.S. on that. What other types of third-party apps might I find in the marketplace that are going to be useful to me as a recruiter?
Sure, a broad range. We actually have really dissected a staffing and recruiting firm or recruiting operation into 4 distinct components. Sales and marketing, how do I generate new revenue? Whether that's from existing customers, new customers, referrals. So we have a set of solutions specifically for that, like email marketing, leveraging SMS, leveraging applications like My Resource or Wanted Technologies that would actually generate new job opportunities that can be ingested into Bullhorn. Moving on to the next component, you've got sourcing. So everything that is posting and distribution, matching technologies, taxonomy. The third component is candidate evaluation. So onboarding, assessments, background checks, and the fourth is time cards and back office and reporting. So a couple of buckets we have there in the assessment category. We've got First Advantage for background checks and assessments. We've got TalentWise for background checks. We've got Interview Stream, which is a video interviewing platform that works both for candidate screening and also in the send-out process. So you get a 360-degree view of that candidate when you're submitting that candidate to your client. On the time card back office side, we have a very tight integration with a company called Spring Ahead. In the UK, we integrate with Giant Group and ETZ. So again, our goal is to stock each one of those categories with the best-of-breed partners.
Well, it's fantastic, and you said you got a lot of things going on, and I know you've got recently added someone to the marketplace who's a little bit different, which is Guy Rubin's Drag and Tag, which from an information gathering perspective for recruiters is a really cool tool, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's got a great social component to it. It actually fits in 2 buckets. We have seen our customers use it for new customer acquisition and prospecting, but also we've had our customers use it for candidate generation as well. So the ability to search social networks like LinkedIn.
Which brings us, I think, neatly into that other area, which is social, because you've also got something called Bullhorn Reach, which is integrating out to the social side. But don't you guys consider possibly that social is potentially a competitive element? Because why do the recruiters need this system now? If they can access LinkedIn, it's already got a database of candidates. Why don't they just do it all there?
Sure. A very good question and a very complicated question.
And you've got 1 minute to answer it, Dave.
And I've got 1 minute to answer. So the realm of social media has multiple components to it. So it's not only LinkedIn, it's Twitter, it's Facebook. So we have a product called Reach that allows you to get the maximum exposure that you can from job posting, from learning and nurturing relationships with your customers. So LinkedIn is just only one small component of a very large world out there, and that world continues to expand.
Well, you're right, it does. I mean, a good friend of mine in Belgium, Angie Young, wrote a book a couple of years ago on social networks, and she stopped when she got to 5,500.
Yeah, and it's mind-numbing. And for a staffing and recruiting firm, frankly, that's typically tight on resources in the marketing function, our goal is to get solutions in their hands that are extremely user-friendly, have a high impact on the organization from an ROI perspective, which is not always easy to do when you try to cull together multiple components into a Lego-like castle.
No, I agree, and but it sounds like what you're doing with both the marketplace and then adding, taking the risk, if you will, of going into things like Bullhorn Reach, really does show that your commitment is ultimately to your customers and doing whatever is going to be right for them. And I think it's quite a refreshing change from many technology providers.
It's great to hear from you. It's absolutely our ethos here is to continue to focus on our core of the recruitment industry and really zeroing in on that customer user experience.
Well, and to me, that's a great way to close because it is about the customer and their customer, of course. Because if they're using the tool correctly, then the candidates and the hiring companies are going to be happy, and then we're all living in that wonderful world we call perfect recruitment, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Dave, that's fantastic. It's been a pleasure talking today. I can't believe how fast time has gone. How can people get hold of you? What's the best way to find you?
Sure. Best way to reach me is at dbeaver. That's just like the animal at bullhorn.com. Or you can hit our website, bullhorn.com.
Fantastic. I appreciate it, and hope it's going really well for you there today. And we're looking forward to having meeting you. I think you're going to be in London next week or in a couple of weeks, aren't you?
I am. I look forward to buying you a beer and meeting you face to face.
Sounds fantastic. Thanks very much, Dave.
Have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.